and happy birthday. Oh, good morning. Wow, that's kind of loud, huh? As most of you know, I'm Richard Hatfield, one of the local pastors, hopefully getting my district license next month. I'm actually the pastor of the new Rally Point Ministries. It's a veterans church. It will be part of this church. We will be partnering with New Horizon. We also have the Got Your Six support group, which is part of the ministry as well. So if anybody would like to support us, you know, we're relying on New Horizon for support, being a partnership. But if anybody else would like to support us, we're here. And thank y'all for that last song. Amazing Grace, yes. His grace is amazing. And when it comes down to it, that is what I'm going to be talking about. Now, people are quick to anger and slow to forgiveness and resolution. James helps us deal with this conflict. Okay, we're going to be reading from James chapter 4, verses 1 through 4, and then 10. Okay. Are we ready? Let's see if I can turn this down a little. Okay. What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? You desire but do not have, so you kill. You covet but you cannot get what you want, so you quarrel and fight. You do not have because you do not ask God. When you ask, you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your pleasures. You adulterous people, don't you know that friendship with the world means enmity against God? Amen. Therefore, anyone who chooses to be a friend of the world becomes an enemy of our God. And verse 10 says, humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up. I think that's a little loud, isn't it? Oh, okay. In these verses, James addresses two issues. Our issue of selflessness and why we have so many disagreements that explode into conflicts and that need resolution. The second thing he addresses is our selfishness, and why we need to surrender ourselves to God. We really do. There's a lot going on. In James 4, verse 6, he wrote, but he gives us more grace. This is why Scripture says God opposes the proud, but shows favor to the humble. As I said, that last song fits in. His grace, it is amazing. Fighting is sure not new. Countries, nations, people, we all fight all the time. More times than not, it's because countries and people are too proud to resolve differences calmly peacefully, or just plain being humble enough to offer to sit down and discuss whatever the issue is. Okay. Look what happened with my family. I'm sure most of you know I am a Hatfield. I am an original Hatfield. Devil Anse Hatfield is my great uncle, something like that. Great uncle, great uncle. Anyway, look what happened with my family. Kind of like me and Willie over here, Bill. It caused my grandfather and my grandmother to move out of the Hatfield area, which is West Virginia. They moved out of the West Virginia area up to Columbus, Ohio, and then on to Indianapolis. That's to get away from it. It was because of pride that all this happened. What causes quarrels and conflict? Envy is a big part of it, or a misunderstanding that led to anger. That's the problem here. Most of you have heard of my family, the Hatfields, and our enemies, the McCoys. The two famous families are from West Virginia, the Hatfields, and Eastern Kentucky, the McCoys. But most do not know why this feud lasted over 2 decades and why at least 13 people were killed. That's as far as we know. It was over a pig. That's right, a pig. Or so the story goes. While the pig was part of it, it was primarily because of land rights for timber, granite, and rock quarries, and other mining activities in the area, and envy. The McCoys wanted it. Envy is a very dangerous thing. It is a feeling of anger towards someone because something you want. Let me repeat that. Envy is a very dangerous thing. It is a feeling of anger towards someone because they have something you want. It's what drives countries to war. As an example, the first Gulf War, Iraq invaded Kuwait. Why? For the oil rights, for the oil reserves. They wanted it. So they decided to take it. It's why people go to war, such as the Hatfield-McCoy feud. It really was a war. See, I like what you got. I don't like that you have it. Okay? Pride and envy leads some of us into lust, hate, and murder just to have what they want. Did we not learn that from David? Where is God's mercy? Where is God's grace? In our case, it started over a pig. It turned into timber rights. It escalated because one Hatfield was interested in a McCoy girl. Because of that, 13 people that we know of were killed, and the feud lasted over 28 years, just for that one incident. How many of us still hold grudges against someone over something that happened years ago? Anybody? And where is God's grace? The first fight recorded in the Bible is Cain getting mad at his brother Abel and killing him out of envy. The Apostle James doesn't pull any punches. It comes from a battle within you. When you don't get something that you want, you are ready to fight. Am I correct on that? A lot of times it is. We don't realize it, but it does happen. What starts as a smoldering, smoky ember, we pour gasoline on it until it is a full-fledged fight and a battle of desires. We battle against each other, other friends, and even family, because of something that we may have, something that may have happened years ago. But we are too proud to take that first step to reconciliation. And often we battle against God Himself. Churches, a place of worship, a place where God's people gather, has been a place of conflict. Churches have split over very minor differences because someone uses a different Bible version than someone else, or because of hurt feelings, just as an example. Where is God's grace? Conflict hits every level of society. Sometimes the battle even happens inside of us. And that can be very bad. James 4:3 says, "When you ask, you do not receive because you ask with wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your own pleasures." Now, sometimes we don't receive, and why? Because we have wrong motive, because it is all about us. It's not about Him. It's not about others. Some people live for the drama and attention. They wonder why God has not responded, because they are asking with the wrong motive. How can we, as God's children, fix this? Good question, huh? Begin with yourself. What can you do to resolve the conflict? What can you